Okay. Yeah. Hola a todos. We're here with Alex Kapranos and Bob Hardy from Franz Ferdinand. And thank you so much for meeting with us here today, guys. How do you feel? How's it going?
Thanks for taking the time. I feel great. Very happy to be back in Santiago.
Yeah, delighted to be here.
That's great. We're also very happy to have you here. I want to know. I want to start by asking you. I know that you recently have tried some very strange things like lucuma ice cream. I want to talk about that.
That's right.
Yeah. I know that you loved it.
Yeah.
You loved it. It was a flavor that you've never tried before.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Bob, have you tried anything that was really weird or really good?
On this trip, no, not so far. No, I mean, I've just been. I'm vegan, so there's certain things that I can't eat.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of foods that are specific to regions are often not vegan.
Right.
So
it's gonna be trickier.
Limits what I can try.
The fruit's amazing though here.
Yeah, I've had some very fresh fruit.
Actually,
yeah,
have you
very
tried
nice.
lucuma? Like, did you
I haven't
eat
tried the
fruit?
actual fruit itself. No.
I think it's great. It's amazing.
Oh, that's
I really
cool.
recommend it. So, I know that you've been to Chile a couple times. What has been your favorite time, the one that you remember the most?
I mean, possibly the most striking experience was the time we played at the festival at Viña del Mar. You know, that was like no experience I've ever had in my life before.
Yeah, same. That was a great trip. Playing Lollapalooza in 2013, I remember being particularly enjoyable. And then when we came in 2010 and we played just after the earthquake, and we didn't know what to expect, and how the crowds. It was a great experience, really life-affirming experience.
Right.
I had another time. I came back about 10 years ago and I DJ'd at the Blondie nightclub, and that was amazing. Like, people were so cool. Like, I don't really enjoy DJing very much, but I really loved DJing that night. It was really cool.
That's awesome. Just people reuniting because of music.
Yeah,
That's
it was
beautiful.
grand, yeah.
Yeah. Is there something that you always do when you come back to our country? I know you've been a couple times, so is there anything that you always, like, I'm going to Chile, I have to do this one thing?
I'm gonna go for a walk in a part of town I've not been in before. I like doing that, just because when you're on foot you see things and you absorb the city and just see and go and eat in a restaurant, because I think you see so much of a place's personality in the way that people eat food and just hang out, and it's nice to just be kind of like a little bit anonymous just around normal people. I really like doing that.
Yeah, same. I like to go for walks. I like to go for a walk with my camera and then you kind of really, your eyes are really open because you're really looking at things and in a different way. Yeah.
Right. Do you think that helps with music? Like, just walking around, like getting to absorb everything that's going on?
With your music, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you feel like you've got more of a connection with the place where you are, and I think having that kind of context definitely helps with the performance. And I think for a creative person as well, it's good to allow your brain to wander and your mind to wander and to daydream a little bit, and when you walk it's good for that.
That's right. You're getting ready to release a new album titled The Human Fear, right?
Yeah.
That's an intense title. I have to say that.
Yeah.
And earlier this year you released the official single that's called Audacious. Am I saying that right? I think
that sounds great. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your pronunciation's incredible. Yeah.
I have to ask, is being audacious a call to action for yourself, for your fans, or maybe for other musicians, like in the spectrum of music?
I think you have to be audacious in certain things you do in life. I mean, certainly to get on stage and perform as a musician or any kind of artistic endeavor, it requires a certain amount of audacity. The presumption that the world wants this thing that you're making, that's quite an audacious presumption to make. But also, think of the good things that you do in life. That requires both to overcome fear and an audacity to do that. That's what the song's about, is being audacious in the face of fear. And think about asking somebody out on a date or something like that. You've got to be audacious and overcome fear.
That's actually a really great question.
It was a brilliant question.
No, sorry.
That's an audacious thing to say. I love that.
Yeah, I'm really observing what you're saying right now.
That's great. Yeah.
I'm like, more confidence.
That's cool.
So, do you think music nowadays could be more audacious? Like,
I think there's audacious music out there. I think somebody like Chapel Rowan's pretty audacious.
Okay.
That's cool.
She's really cool.
Yeah, English Teacher, who are a British band.
Yeah,
pretty
I've heard of them. I
Yeah.
haven't heard them,
They're
but
doing
I
cool.
hear that you like them.
Yeah, they're a good band. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But doing something audacious for one person is different for another person. You know, like it might be audacious just to kind of like go to the shop for somebody if you're incredibly
Yeah.
shy. You know.
Yeah.
So we have our own scales of measuring it. You know.
Right. So it's about overcoming fear. Eventually,
For
yeah,
me it
yeah.
is, yeah.
Okay.
That's
And your new album is definitely called The Human Fear. So what do you think is your biggest discovery yet about human fear?
Oh.
What have you found out?
Do you know, making this record and certainly once the title was there, made me think about fear a lot more. And I guess what I've discovered is how universal fear is. We all have fear. It's something that we have in common. We all have these fears that we come across in our lives. But what makes us individual is our response to the fear.
Right.
You know, I might respond to the fear of, I don't know, like let's say diving off a diving board. I might react a different way from you do, or the fear of speaking in public. I mean, that fills me with fear. Some people find it very easy, other people can't overcome it. And I think every time you're faced with a fear, you learn a little bit more about yourself.
That's right.
Yeah, and then when you do face up to it and overcome it, often you get this massive rush of elation almost. You know, like I get this post, you know, after a big show where I might be nervous beforehand, I come off stage and I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. Especially if it's on like live radio or live television or something. Or it's the same feeling as getting off a roller coaster. When you get off, you're like, let's go back to the front of the queue, let's do it again, you know.
Yeah. Were you ever afraid of like going on stage or like releasing new songs or stuff like that?
I still get nerves going on stage, you know, I still feel different, but I guess we all have ways of dealing with it. I used to drink alcohol before going on stage, but I never ever do that now. I just get myself very calm and try not to speak to anybody for 2 hours beforehand, so that helps me.
Okay. So it wasn't too long ago that you celebrated the 20th anniversary of your debut album, and I believe you invited people to not be afraid to dance. So
yeah,
I would like you to remember, you guys remember, what's the first song that made you want to make music for people to dance to?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask the first song that made me want to dance when I was a kid.
I thought you were going
You
to
can
ask,
also say
'cause
that.
I remember being a teenager and first starting going to discos or whatever, and being scared of dancing, like I have a fear of dancing, and it was overcoming that fear. It was such a liberation. It was like, I don't
That's
care.
true.
I'm just going to move,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that was an amazing fear to overcome.
And do you remember the song that you were dancing to? Or
Well, I mean, I was total indie kid, so I was at discos. I was at you know, clubs that were playing like the Smiths and New Order and that kind of thing.
it's
you
so
know?
fun to dance to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Smiths,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I really like that, actually, yeah.
Well, when I was a little kid, like it was when I was a little boy, it was a time of all the two-tone kind of bands, like the sort of ska bands, like Madness and the Specials. And I remember being a wee kid and dancing to Madness and just being like one step beyond and just having such a release, like and such a. Do you know who else? Adam and the Ants, Kings of the Wild Frontier, and Live and Let Die. I remember jumping up and down on my parents' sofa to Live and Let Die. And it was just such a joyous experience, like really, really good. And I think I'm still chasing that as an adult, that feeling of total abandon that you know when you're little and you don't care. You're just doing it because it feels really good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get when I'm on stage. That naivety and that purity of reaction to the music. It's perfect.
I love that, and I think that people really feel that when they listen to your music.
I hope
And yeah, and I want to know, like, how does it feel to know that, like, 20 years later, you have become an inspiration to other bands? Like, there's probably, I don't know, like English teacher, for example, people that probably listen to you, and you made them want to make music. I'm not saying that about English teachers specifically, but like there are many bands.
I met the people in English teacher, and they did say that they liked the band, and that was really touching because if you respect somebody else's work and what they've made, and to hear that feeling's mutual, God, you feel really great about yourself. Of course, that's like the biggest compliment you can get. But it's not just musicians as well. I always find it very moving when people tell you about how the music that you've made's affected their life. It's been a soundtrack for their life, or it's helped them through difficult times.
Yeah, no, because then when that happens, I it just makes me think of the bands that did that for me and how much they meant to me. And if someone has that feeling for our band, it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to close this interview by saying that we've talked about this. You've been to Chile many times already, but I want to know if you've learned any slang, like slang words. Have you heard any?
No, but I'd like to.
Cabros?
You'd like to?
Cabros? Is that?
Cabros.
Cabros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like guys.
Yeah, hey, pals, you know, that's...
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think that there are some words that are going to be useful to you.
Oh, yeah, great. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we go. You can also teach us at Radio Concierto some words that are
In
like
Glasgow.
maybe for sure.
Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah.
Actually, we can go one by one if you want.
All right.
So first word, bacán.
Bagan.
Bacán. Yeah, that's really good.
Bagan. Yeah.
Perfecto.
Hey.
That's amazing.
What does that mean?
That means that something is great. It's awesome. It's really cool.
Okay.
You know? You
That's
can
cool.
say, esta banda es bacán. Like, this band is really cool.
As banda es bagan.
Right. Esta banda es bacán. You can use that.
That's cool.
Right. Is there any Glasgow words that
I mean, an old Glasgow word like that would be gallus. Yeah, yeah.
Gallus?
If something's gallus, it's really good.
That's like bacán.
Yeah, same.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one more word that also Paul McCartney used in his last show here is cuático.
Huático.
Cuático.
Huático.
Yeah, something like that.
That's
yeah.
cool. Yeah. What does
Cuático,
that mean?
That means that something is really intense, really big, really dramatic.
I must write that one down. That's exactly what we need, because that's when a gig's good. It's huático, right?
Yeah. So he said, este carrete está cuático, which means this party is really big,
But if
really
McCartney
great.
said it already, I can't say.
He said it. He said it.
yeah.
It was awesome.
How was the McCartney gig? Was it good?
It was awesome. Really a great experience. I
I'm
was
gonna go see
there.
him
I
in
loved it.
Paris.
Yeah.
I love some of his songs. They're brilliant.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys are too. So we're gonna be sure to see you at Fauna Primavera.
Can't wait.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Huático.
Cuático. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Cheers.